Hey guys, today we're back with another episode of the Dokkan Podcast, and if you guys haven't seen the first two episodes, I will leave a link to both of those down below in the description. The first episode, I believe, was on Talon's channel, and then the second one was on Speedy's channel. I did share them on my community tab, so go check them out if you haven't already. But how's it going, guys?
A little sick, but we're still here. So
Yeah, but unfortunately, it's definitely that sick season. I'm seeing all my students coughing and everything. I'm like, no, don't make me sick.
It's early in the morning, so we're here. We're ready. We're ready to produce this
yeah.
podcast. So let's get it.
I'm telling you, I woke up like 5 minutes ago, so we're ready to go. We're ready to rock and roll
We're
here.
full of energy, dude. Full of energy. Let's get it.
So basically how this podcast works is we go through events happening on Global, and then we go through events happening on JP, because we have me and Speedy who are on Global, and then we have Talon and Nolar who are on JP. So we have perspectives from both versions. So I guess just to start things off, over on the Global version, we're obviously in the middle of the thank you celebration, and we're about to go head into part 2. I believe that should be dropping tomorrow night. We're recording this on November 23rd, which is a Saturday, and this will probably go live later today. So I expect the part 2 info to come out tomorrow. So something we know for sure that is coming is the Goku Black EZA. And if you guys are aware, that Goku Black unit is actually buffed on Global as compared to on JP, because his stats are better, and he has actually the Ki plus 3, which is staying in the EZA part of his, passive. So what do you guys think about that?
Honestly, that makes the unit so much better on global, and it's actually he's actually usable, like more usable than he is on JP. Because on JP you can use the int one, but on global I say why even bother with the int Goku Black when you can just use the physical one because of that Ki plus 3 support. It's just so good.
Yeah.
Well, coming from the JP, looking at the global side of things, being mainly on JP. I remember when the physical got his EZA over here, and we're all thinking like, okay, depending on what this guy does, he basically kills into Goku Black in terms of being used a lot, or it's not gonna be that enough. It's not gonna be enough, right? And I think for the most part, the physical one has his place on certain events. Something like Super Battle Road is definitely somewhat helpful because he greatly lowers attack and defense. But the int one is still better for those longer events, and then he does provide that at least that plus 3 Ki after he transforms. His transformation mechanic is still kind of garbage. But at least on the JP side, I know a lot of people prefer using the int over the physical. Not saying physical is bad again, just my personal perspective on it. Noir, got anything to add to that?
no, I think you're right. I think the biggest thing is because he's got that plus 3 key passive. He's more designed for like the shorter events. So like you said, Super Battle Road, Boss Rush, Dokkan Fest events. Like that's where he would be used more. And then int seems to be geared towards more longer events. And like you said, once he transforms, he gets that plus 3 key passive. So I think it's just depend like how Dokkan is now. It's which events are you running? It's either really short events that last 5-7 turns, and Goku Black will definitely shine in those categories, versus if you're running the Legendary Goku event or the Infinite Dragon Ball History, in Goku Black, he's stacking defense and eventually gets that transforms to Rose with that plus 3 key. He shines a little more there. Not to say you can't use the physical one, but it's kind of like, if you have both, then you have options, and he's a very good option.
Yeah, I definitely agree. But so looking at like the differences between the global one and the JP one, I don't have it pulled up right now, but like the global one's stats are like way better than the one on JP.
Yeah.
So I think that in combination with the Ki plus 3, honestly, from the way I'm seeing it, is probably going to make him just straight up a better option in every event than the int one. Maybe besides the Legendary Goku event, but even the Legendary Goku event, because I think he gets a bonus when fighting a Goku family enemy. I think he changes
He does.
Ki
He gets
to Rainbow, right?
Yep, changes
Key,
Ki,
yeah.
and then he gets an extra attack and defense for every orb obtained when faced off against a Goku lineage category enemy.
Yeah, so like I don't know, man. I mean, I feel like maybe the int one just gets like replaced completely because of this. But on JP, I think it's more of a, it
more of a
depends on what
toss-up.
event you're running. Yeah.
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 I don't know. That's just what I'm seeing here.
I mean, I guess you guys are gonna have to do some showcases to see.
Oh yeah, I already have like a thumbnail ready. I have the whole thing planned out. I'm definitely ready.
Goresh is ready, bro. Goresh is ready.
Gresh is ready. He's just like, man, I got this. I got this. Goku Black. Let's do this.
I mean, I guess JP when he released, I think that was October of 2017
Yeah, it was a while ago.
or 16. I guess he just didn't sell well, which is why on Global when he got released they buffed him. I mean, and I thought that when we got our EZA on JP, he would get the +3 key passive just to mirror Global, but that never happened. So, I mean, this is the one card where Global is definitely way better than the JP version.
It's really interesting too because I mean, like you would think Goku Black would sell well no matter like what the unit looks like, right? Because it's Goku Black.
Yeah.
But it's weird because that was the only time I believe they've ever buffed a Dokkan Fest exclusive unit, and
That pretty much was, yeah.
they had an opportunity to like correct that or rectify that when the EZA came out because that's like the only time where they actually go in and change the unit, they buff them up and stuff. So I feel like that was their chance to make them equal, but they just didn't. So I mean, I don't know.
I don't get it either.
All right, so we're
But
good
yeah.
with Goku Black EZA.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think a lot of people are very excited for him on Global, and I'm glad you guys are getting that. That basically then just leaves the Vegeta and the Vegito, so we're narrowing it down there.
Yeah. I think next we should be getting the Vegeta because I think they're trying to line up Vegito with the anniversary. Is what
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, sounds about right.
All right, so that's good for Goku Black. That's like the only thing we know is definitely coming.
The
part
Strength
two. We also-
Gogeta EZA. is
Yeah,
coming.
I was gonna mention that. We also have the Strength Gogeta EZA. I don't really know how impactful that really is because I mean he's
Not very
good,
impactful.
but I don't know if you're gonna run him. Like if you have a good full like fusion team, like I don't know if you're just gonna slide him in there or what.
Definitely not.
On JP,
Well,
like,
the
he's a cool
interesting... Oh, go ahead, man.
No, I was gonna say like on JP, how has he been for you guys? Like you're the ones who've been using him, so.
I can't speak for Nolar, so I tested him out when he came out. I rainbowed him, I EZA'd him obviously, and I threw him onto a fusion team under 2 Gogeta leads, so the LR physical Gogeta, because that's technically his best lead. I guess you could also say maybe let's just say 4 because it's a flat 150 across the board. But nonetheless, I put him on there. I tried him on, events like Super Battle Road, and he did okay. He wasn't the greatest. He definitely still took a lot of damage because he infinitely stacks attack, doesn't stack defense. So he did okay. He's also a free-to-play fusion leader. He gets 77%, I believe, to fusion types. It's either 70 or 7%.
77.
Yeah, 77. And I tried to do what if you don't have a good leader and you bring him as a leader? Did not work out very well at all. So I know a lot of people on Global are waiting for him. Just he's not meant for the harder events. Like, yeah, you can take him into Boss Rush, you can take him into a Dokkan event. He'll be fine. He'll be absolutely fine. But the other harder events, I wouldn't necessarily recommend him, especially with like physical Gotenks EZA now and that kind of stuff. So.
I mean, I just look at him as he was a free EZA, so free stones or whatever came with it. But yeah, it's like looking at his passive. I've only used him once. I didn't rainbow him, so attack and defense up 77% as a passive, and then an additional attack and defense 20 when there's a Goku family ally on the team, and another additional attack and defense 20 when there's a Vegeta family ally on the team. But that doesn't really work since you're probably going to run him on a fusion team.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
he
and then
was
attacks
basically-
effectives against all types when he's facing a movie boss cat enemy. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
So
I
he was
personally-
basically made to be put onto a movie heroes team, essentially, right?
Yeah.
And like ideally, you'd have him with that free-to-play Goku and free-to-play Vegeta. So
I personally just see
Yeah.
him as a trophy card. Like, he's the first base form Gogeta we ever gotten, so that's what I see him as. I mean, he's good as
Pretty
a card,
much,
but
pretty
like,
much, yeah.
nobody's going to use him, really. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got great key links like over in a flash, shocking speed, fuse fighter, shattering a limit. So I mean, if you're hurting for key, which I guess on a movie heroes team you wouldn't, or fusion team either. But if you were hurting for key, he would be a person to run.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Speedy. I think most people are excited for him just because it's Gogeta, and we
Yeah,
haven't gotten a
exactly.
base form version of him
Exactly.
yet. So, I mean, that's exciting in a way, but and in terms of like actual usability and stuff, I don't know if it's too impactful. But it's nice to have, I guess. I mean, we've been waiting for how many months for him on global now? Like 7, 8. So I mean, it's been a
Yeah.
while.
Something like that, yeah.
I
Okay.
mean,
Yeah, go ahead.
trophy card.
Yeah,
So
yeah, definitely agree with that. All right, so moving into the part 2 of the thank you celebration, we really don't know what's coming besides for those two things we already mentioned. And given that this is like one of the bigger celebrations during the year, I think it's safe to say this is probably like top 3 big celebrations we get during the year on global. What do you guys think might be coming? I know we talked about this a little bit last week, the Tanabata celebration on JP, because this celebration right now is sort of like a mixture of that celebration and Golden Week. So I think a lot of people are speculating that we are getting the thank you banner basically. But last year we actually got that banner in December. So my question is, do you think this year they might change things up a bit and move that ahead and move that up to the part 2 of this celebration?
Probably. I still think it's gonna be Christmas because they need something to, snag everyone's stones around Christmas time. And again, correct me if I'm wrong here, but Global doesn't technically usually have the New Year's banners. And what I mean by the New Year's banners is those banners that come out like on the 29th or so. So like last year on JP, it was the Gogeta and Broly. The year before that was the Rose and Vegito Blue, I believe. Global in the past hasn't gotten those. You did get the guaranteed LR banner, which both versions of the game got on New Year's Day. But in terms of what I guess the community has, termed the New Year's celebration banners, generally Global doesn't get that. So they need something to be in that kind of Christmas New Year spot. So I think they're probably going to throw in the thank you banner / Tanabata banner, whatever you want to call it.
I think in terms of the next banner on global, I think it's going to be an LR banner with Kale and Khalifa to kind of, suck the stones out of the global players.
I mean, I can see that happening, yeah. I don't know.
Well, looking at last year is kind of an anomaly because we had some dual celebrations like that New Year, that LR guaranteed LR New Year banner. Normally, you guys when did Hit come out for you guys? Was it like right around Christmas, right before Christmas?
I think it was for Christmas.
Yeah, it was like literally on like the 24th, 25th, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I personally think you guys are getting your Tanabata banner next week, lasts for a couple weeks. Then you're getting like either the LR banner, and then right at Christmas you're getting another Dokkan Fest banner. I mean, this is the time to like start throwing banners at you guys to drain stones. People are getting gift cards for Christmas or whatnot. So I think there's just going to be a flurry of banners for you guys personally, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, so here's what I think. I think it makes the most sense to drop the thank you banner like during part 2 of the celebration because it's technically part of the Tanabata celebration. So I think that's like a decent time to drop that. And then in between now and Christmas, I don't think we're going to be getting another Dokkan Fest. I think Kale and Khalifa is probably a pretty good guess because people have seen what they can do. They're going to spend stones on the banner, even though the banner's not great. So I think that will probably drop sometime in the beginning of December, maybe like December 5th, 6th, something around there. And then after that, I think there's a really good shot that we get another Global First Dokkan Fest for Christmas because we take a look at what's left. We have Piccolo. Definitely not worthy of a Christmas celebration.
That's a Christmas, bro. Piccolo, dude. I'm telling you right now, dude. We're getting Piccolo.
I would pick
bad.
up Global. I would pick up Global if they would for some somehow like I know they would never do it, but just alter his art to put a Santa hat on top of Piccolo in his team art. Do it, Akatsuki, do it.
Yeah, so like we have Piccolo, who obviously we're all in agreement here. He's not worthy of a Christmas celebration. We have
great card, but yeah, no.
Sorry.
I say great card, but yeah, not for Christmas.
Really
no.
good card.
Yeah,
wonky category, but yeah.
No, I know, I agree. I love Piccolo too, so like, I'm excited for his banner. But again, I don't think most people are going to be summoning for that if it's a Christmas banner.
No.
So him, in Future Gohan, I don't think he's worthy well. I mean, people do like Future Gohan, but it just seems like a weird Christmas banner. And then we have
Yeah.
Cooler. I don't think they would go ahead and move Cooler up so far to make him the Christmas banner. I think they would just stick to the schedule that they have. So I mean, that doesn't really leave a lot of options for me. I mean, they could do Kalen Cleveland for Christmas, but I think they're just going to do another global first. I mean, I don't know what can it be. I have no idea, but it just makes no sense.
I think they learned from last year. I don't know how much money Hit made them, but I don't think it was that hype. I feel like a lot of global players complained it was Hit.
Yeah, I think that's just the fact that it was Hit, and it wasn't something like a UI Goku or something.
Yeah, it wasn't a Goku
but
or a Vegeta card, so I feel like this year they're gonna do like a Goku or Vegeta card, maybe like MUI Goku. I don't know.
Well, the other problem too was with the hit banner, there wasn't very good featured units, if I remember.
Yeah, I
Right.
think it was a combination. It was like the featured units weren't great, the sales weren't great, and like the celebration itself just wasn't great. Because think about it, our hit celebration was excluding the Universe 6 story event and the Kill and Khalifa banner. So we got
Yeah.
like basically half of what you guys got for your same celebration for our Christmas celebration, which is like one of the bigger ones.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, that's why I think a lot of people were complaining about that. But anything else in terms of the part 2 to the thank you celebration? Any predictions? Anything for Christmas? Like, what do you guys think's coming for Christmas?
Like I said, I think it's gonna be a UI Goku. Like, I feel like that would just bring in the cash.
I guess, yeah. I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, we can always say it would be smart of them, right, to bring in some kind of hype character, aka UI Goku and Jiren. You know, bring in another Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta, Super Saiyan Blue Goku, or whatever the case may be, right? But I guess it all depends on if they're trying to save some of those really big hype ones for, again, taking a wild guess about 400 million download celebration for next year, or the year 5 celebration, or whatever the heck it's going to be. I mean, I know we technically kind of know what year 5 celebration is going to be, but you never know. They could always change it up a bit, I guess.
I mean, they could do that thing where they did with the UI Goku, just basically give him the SSR version. It's not awakening for like a whole year.
Oh my god.
Or to be released
Yeah,
later
to
still.
be released.
Oh my god.
Oh, that would be fun. I'm down for that.
Another girl, yeah. Let's do it.
I think the problem is, all right, I don't think this is a very hot take to say, but they treat JP very differently than they treat Global.
Yeah.
And every time something hype comes to Global, JP's always right behind it with something even hyper. And it's usually because the JP players get a little jealous. I'm not gonna lie, we do. But
Tickets.
that's why. Yeah, well, I guess tickets is the one thing to make people really happy, and discounted multis. But aside from that, in terms of like bringing the hype, I feel like there can't be a MUI Goku for a Christmas banner on Global, because then JP would need to have that right away. And then if that came on for Christmas, then on JP, the New Year's, right after Christmas, double Dokkan Fest, it's got to feature something even more hype than that. So like, I don't know. It's just, as much as I want to agree with you guys that something hype is coming for Global, I just know the way they've operated and they've treated JP much differently than Global. I feel like if you're gonna get a Global first, it's just really not going to be that huge. But that's just my opinion.
All right, that's fair. All right, I think that pretty much wraps up our global discussion. I don't really know. Honestly, there isn't really much happening there.
Yeah.
Because
Until tomorrow, and then
Yeah, we don't know the details of what's coming for part 2. So I think once we know that, then obviously we'll have more to discuss.
I want to
but
throw in
until
one more
then-
thing. What if Global for Christmas gets a step up banner? Like how JP got one for I think it was Golden Week. What if they just get that for Christmas?
Okay, well the issue with that I see is that we're probably gonna get one for New Year's. So I don't know if they'd want to do 2 like immediately back to back. So I don't know. That's just the only problem I see with that. I don't know if they'd want to do that like 2 back to back, because I think again we'll be getting the step up for New Year's along with JP like we did last year. Because I don't see them not doing it again, because they don't want to make this New Year's worse than last year. I don't see how they could top that, right? That was like an insane
Yeah.
banner.
Yeah.
That banner had so much value.
yeah. Although I guess the more you now that you bring it up, Speedy, I almost wonder maybe for part 2 of Thank You, maybe you guys get that guaranteed LR banner. And then technically, it's near the end of November. It'll go away by the very beginning of December, and then technically it's a month until New Year's. So I don't know. That could happen. I don't know. It's always.
I
up
mean,
in the air.
if that was gonna happen, then they would have to drop another LR banner in between, so they could add another one into the New Year version. I mean, that's how I see it.
No, you're absolutely correct on that. So I mean, again, this is all speculation, but it's. I mean, like Goresh said, we're gonna know what to buy tomorrow. So.
Yeah.
All right. I think this is a pretty good time to transition into JP discussion. So on JP, right, we just got the hero celebration. And if we take a look at what
Lots
the
of
actual
units.
celebration is, it's really not that beefy. It's like, what,
No.
like 5 events?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not much.
So we have like the login bonus, we have the missions, we have the banner, we have that 2-stage special event, which is they put a lot of effort into that one. And then we have the return of the old one that we got for the World Mission collab. And that's pretty much it. I mean, there isn't really much to go off there. So
And it's only around for 2 weeks. So.
yeah, again, it goes away on the 5th, so that's literally exactly 2 weeks. So I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think about the overall celebration here?
Well, I mean, so we've got it's kind of like 3 categories essentially. So we've got the awakens for the units like SSJ3s and the Kai of Time. We've got the new units like Kamba, Golden Cooler, the AGL Go Tanks, and all those guys. And then, does this mean finally that we're gonna get Dokkan Fest hero units? So I guess starting with the awakenings, I have had the chance to try out everybody on Super Battle Road, on Legendary Goku event, on Infinite Dragon Ball History stage, and I can tell you guys right now, both the SSJ3s and Supreme Kai Time are just nasty. They are just they're. I never thought they would get awakenings this, because they're already really good. I was proven wrong.
Yeah. The SSJ3s are just stupid. They're stupid good. Especially the Goku. I think just because he can hit decently hard and he's like a massive tank.
Yeah.
And Vegeta's no slump either. I mean, he just hits really hard. And the Supreme Kai of Time is like one of the best supports you could ever have if you could have her on the team. So, yeah, I mean, the awakenings are just, yeah, they're stupid.
I think
they tempered it because they had to have Dragon Ball Heroes category allies, at least for the SSJ3s. So, I mean, they didn't make them super broken, but they're still broken.
Yeah,
Well,
I
the
was going to
thing-
actually just mention that real fast because, again, we're seeing this sort of thing where they're making units being specifically, like, needing certain conditions to be really, really good. That's not to say that the Goku is bad if you don't have Dragon Ball Heroes allies, because he himself counts as 1. So at the very least, you're always going to be getting 7% of his, damage reduction activated in his passive. But that Goku, can we just talk about how absurd that Goku is? Like, he doesn't take damage from any event. You can take him to any event, he's not taking damage. How is that fair?
He took no damage on the Legendary Goku event when I tried him out. He did nothing.
Yeah,
oh my god.
It's stupid how, like, he's probably, I mean, honestly, the best, like, pure tank over a long term. Like, of course, you've got Tech Golden Frieza. You've got, the Strength Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta with his EZA. It lasts 10 turns. So, like, if you got to take a long event, I would take this SSJ3 Goku over the Vegeta one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
easily. I mean, and I think that's interesting is that even though he technically has that limitation of needing the heroes units to have that extra mitigation, he's already guarding really well. And then especially on Super Saiyan 3 teams, there's a lot of Super Saiyan 3 hero cards. And so he still gets all that buff, and he's ridiculous. He's ridiculous. He's not even Dokkan Fest. He doesn't even get Fierce Battle or anything. And they bumped him up to a high chance to stun. He gets 150% attack when he super attacks. He gets 100% defense, guards against everybody, mitigates damage, just
Stuns.
So we can say he's the
Stuns?
best non-Dokkan Fest / non-LR card in the game.
I hate coining those terms, but I think he is. I really think he is.
I have to agree.
I'm going to go a step further and say I think he is, and I don't think it's close. Really.
I mean, he's better
I
than,
think
like, I would say, like, 70% of, like, Dokkan Fest now.
Yeah,
honestly.
honestly, he's better than like I don't know, not everyone, but up until you get to like the upper tiers of like Dokkan Fest exclusives, he's right there because
Yeah.
he's actually very similar to the EZA Golden Frieza in the fact that he doesn't take damage at all, and like his damage, I feel like, is on a similar level to him.
Yep, I agree with that.
But I think it's sort of, I don't know, because Golden Frieza definitely has a stipulation where you want to be above 50% HP, even though he does get a damage boost below 50%. I feel like just to be like like he's designed to be a tank, and you're bringing him for that role. So I mean, you're gonna want to stay above 50% health for him to utilize the full extent of his defensive passive. But this Goku's
Right.
always going to be having his maximum like defensive capabilities at all times if you have Dragon Ball Heroes units on your team. So I mean, there's no event in the game that can damage him, and he can stun, and he can do good damage, and his links are pretty good, and it's on 6 categories. It's like what do they do?
Again, this goes back to my hypothetical theory that there are two teams making certain units, and the people who made Cooler and the people who made this Goku are different from the people who make other units. And
No, I think it's his like favorite character. I think the person that made this like
Probably
Xeno's
favorite character.
His favorite character is like, all right.
boss, I love Super Saiyan 3. Let me do it. Okay, hi.
I mean, he's the second best linking partner for the Tech LR Super Saiyan 3 Goku. The first one I think is the Super Saiyan 3 Gohan.
Yeah.
So you could keep him on rotation with the LR, and then and if you happen to have the Super Saiyan 3 Gohan, like that LR Goku's getting 18 ki instantly.
Oh my god, that's
it's
pretty
stupid.
crazy.
Yeah, I mean, and not just the Goku too. I mean, we have all the other units that are amazing. Like the Supreme Kai of Time, she went from 20 to 30, and then she has a great chance of giving 12 to both attack and defense, and she gives crit chance, and she
12% crit
massively
chance.
raises her defense on her super attack. That's the only unit in the game that does that, besides the LR Super Saiyan 4s.
Yep, and the fact that she's able, so at least on Super Battle Road, so giving that plus her key is nice, obviously, and then the extra 12%, and then the fact that her super attack does two things. One, it allows her to defend against those ending turns. Like if you get
When she's
4 or
on
5
rotation,
attacks, which is crazy. So she tanks for the most part for double-digit damage because she does that, and then she seals. So if you have had any amount of dupes into her, nobody's given her extra critical attacks. You're only giving her to level 5. You're going to be giving her those additional attacks. So if she gets a double super attack off, she massively raises her defense twice, and she seals. Like, just what?
Yeah, it's the epitome of the perfect support card because she massively raises defense, like she can tank. And when you're putting them off rotation, you're like sometimes worried that, oh crap, like there's like 7 attacks at the end. I don't know if she's gonna, she might take a hit, it might be bad, but if she massively raises her defense, she can tank. So, and sealing it means that
They're not going to super attack you.
They're not going to super attack you, so it's just normal attacks for double, triple digit damage, and just the perfect support in a way,
Yeah.
She is. Like there's no competition that she is.
So I think we actually mentioned this last week, but we talked about the possibility of a Heroes Dokkan Fest exclusive unit coming out, and I think we actually were speculating on the category that they could be leading, and I think we actually settled on the Dragon Ball Heroes category, which is not, it's not like a, some wild guess. I mean, it was pretty obvious.
Right.
But now that we have the category actually released in the game, I think the chances of us seeing a Dokkan Fest exclusive for this category are actually very high. What do you guys think about that?
I think it's pretty high, especially because even if it's not in the next coming week or so, and we're going to talk about this a little bit near the end of the podcast, everyone, but even if we don't get a Dokkan Fest in the next couple weeks, because V-Jump only showed Heroes cards, whereas the last couple years showed off like Super Saiyan 3 Bardock and the Int Goku Black at the times, it's definitely going to happen. I mean, there is a giant pool of just crazy, outlandish characters that they can finally start pulling from Dragon Ball Heroes, and I think it would be an idiotic move to not pull from that. I mean, some of them can really be unique. Heck, just the crazy looks of some of the Heroes cards are going to draw people in to summon for them. So,
yeah, I totally agree that we're getting a Dokkan Fest leader for the Dragon Ball Heroes category. whether that's in a week or two or that's next year in 2020, it's gonna happen. And there's so many things to pull from. I think the interesting thing is they're going to do, because we have dual category leads, they're going to do a Dragon Ball Heroes plus another category, so that card you're pulling for has way more utility than just being only a Dragon Ball Heroes category lead. So I anticipate a Dokkan Fest coming. I personally think it's next week, but we'll talk about that later.
I think last week we speculated it was going to be Super Saiyan God Trunks coming. I think that's what we said for Dokkan Fest for Heroes.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Do you guys think it's still going to be the same thing if it actually happens?
I mean, he's like the face of this Dragon Ball Heroes celebration for year 9, right?
Yeah, so they just
Yes, yes.
I think it was so whenever they had that I don't know if you guys were watching the live stream.
The live stream, yeah.
That was when they first revealed his like card art and stuff, and they like actually talked about the details of the card. And I think the set actually came out like a week after that live stream ended, so that's when he came out. So he's very new. He's current, like he's in the current set of the game. So I don't know if they're gonna go with him, but I think if they were to do a Heroes Dokkan Fest, he would be the one they would do.
I could see it. Yeah, I could see that happening.
Yeah, I think I personally think that's what's coming next week. And it would probably, or in the next Dokkan Fest, whether that's next week or in 2 weeks. But hopefully if it does come, it'll be before this hero banner goes away, so people who want to summon can summon on it.
Yeah, I actually was thinking about this earlier too, and the fact that we have like a 130% leader for this category, and the category being as limited as it doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. I mean, if you take a look at like the Wicked Bloodline team, we have Metal Cooler for that. He's 170 across the board. That category is basically all encompassed within the Conquest of Terror team, and
Yep, it is.
I mean, that obviously is not going to have 170 across the board, which means Metal Cooler is still relevant. So I feel like it's similar to this because the Dragon Ball Heroes category is literally all time travelers.
Yep.
And we have a 150 leader for time travelers across the board with Goku Black, Int 1. So I feel like if we got a Dragon Ball Heroes lead for this category, it would just be 170 across the board, and then maybe leaders go for something else too on there, but I'm not sure.
Probably, I could see that.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, if it is Super Saiyan God Trunks, I mean, I don't know why we would need another Rumble God category lead, but he could be that.
Could be a master student bond thing.
Oh, that's true too.
I mean, there's a lot of things they could do. Future. I mean, we already have 2 future leaders, but I don't know. They could, I don't know. There's a million things they could do there.
Yeah, I mean, it's really up to them to figure out how they want to do it. But yeah, I personally think the Dokkan Fest is coming. I think it's in a couple of weeks or week or two, but that's just me.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people talk about this as well. What do you guys think about the possibility that these heroes units are added to the general pool? And I think this sort of ties into what we were just talking about with the Dokkan Fest exclusive, because if we get a Dokkan Fest exclusive for this category, I feel like they have to add these guys to the general pool. Because if you pull this guy on a future banner, you're not going to be able to use the team because you're not going to be able to pull the unit.
Wait till next year, guys. Here you go.
Yeah. Hey, you finally pulled this card in like May or June of next year. Oh, sorry, you got to wait another 5 months till November to actually use them. No, but I actually think that I think they should. Again, especially if a Dokkan Fest card releases, whether it's in the next week or next month or whenever they decided to do it, at that point they have to, because whether even if you're been around for a long time, maybe you haven't had time to summon on some of the banners, or you haven't gotten lucky to get some of them, that vastly limits the team itself. So I personally think they should. Now, in my perfect world, you would take out like 30 plus of these super old unfeatured SSR cards that nobody cares about and put these cards in. But yeah, I'm not sure. We'll have to see.
I mean, I would love to have the hero units on a basic general, banners. Like, that was just great.
Yeah, I could see them doing 2 things. They could either do what we all want, which is put them in the general pool so you can pull them on any banner, just like the fusion cards from that fusion game. Or, I mean, I don't want to speak this into existence, but if they decide to do Dokkan Fest exclusive Heroes cards, they'll just throw these units in that banner itself with the other general pool, but just strictly for that Dokkan Fest banner, and then have like 3 or 4 of them as featured units, but never put them in the general pool outside of those specific Dokkan Fest banners. Like I could see them kind of doing that, but I don't want that to happen for everyone. I kind of want them to actually use the cards when they get them. But on the other flip side, I mean, some of these cards are usable in other categories too. So, I mean, and that could go for both ways. Like you could say, yeah, that would mean they should be in the general pool because you can use them in other categories. Or you could, in Akatsu's defense, say, no, that means that, if you ever pull them on this specific Dokkan Fest Heroes banners, you can always use these cards in other categories. Like, I mean, it could go either way. But I just like with Talon and Speedy, I really hope they're just in the general pool for everyone once that Dokkan Fest exclusive Heroes unit comes out.
Yeah, definitely agreed. And then there's another layer to this too, I think, because even if we don't get a Dokkan Fest exclusive for the Heroes category, at this point, how many Heroes units do we have? Like 30 plus? I don't know if it's
48,
that big,
I believe, is what we've got.
yeah, it's a lot. So, I mean, bringing a select... I mean, on this banner, we have 9 featured. 8 of them, or like 7 or 6 of them being new. So if they do this every year, and they introduce like these new units every year, and we have a banner, and this is the only time you're able to pull these units, we're eventually going to get to a point where the unfeatured pool of Heroes units is like, 30, 40 units. And it's going to be impossible to pull them all. So just based off of that alone, we're up to a point where there's just so many units in this category, and during these collab banners, that you're not going to be able to pull them realistically from these banners. And we saw that on Global a little bit too, because Global got the World Mission collab banner, but they released all of the Heroes units together, and it was like no one could pull them all because they're all unfeatured, and they all have like 3% unfeatured rates. So, I mean, that's sort of an argument to base off the fact that they might add them to the general pool too, I think.
That's true.
Definitely.
Yeah. I mean, we haven't had... Heroes is just a huge ongoing game, right? I mean, there's... I remember the Fusion cards came out. I mean, they were kind of cool. I'm just wondering, the Fusion game dead? Like, is that what it is, or...?
Well, I think that was just like more of a traditional like 3DS game.
Collab banner? Okay.
Yeah. I assume we're gonna get one for when like Kakarot comes out and stuff, and that'll be like a one-time thing. But for Heroes, yeah, it is ongoing. It's basically like so like in Japan they have like these arcade style card games where you like have cards and you like use them in the arcade game, and they release like new sets every every other month with new cards and new characters and stuff. So yeah, it is ongoing. It's basically sort of like a pseudo gacha game, but it's like real life. It's kind of hard to explain.
Well, it's a card game, right? First and foremost.
Yeah.
Just a collectible card game.
Right.
Yeah. I'm just wondering how come I wonder why they choose. I guess they only choose the anniversary and outside of the World Mission release to only release hero cards. Like, why don't they do more collab banners with it? Like one on the release of the sets and heroes, like, oh, this one's coming out in a couple months. Let's throw a collab banner with Dokkan. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure why. I mean, it's just like a hype time for the game, I guess. Next year, we're moving into the 10th anniversary. I feel like we could get something giant.
Yeah.
Super Saiyan 3 Gogeta and Vegito. Please.
That would be crazy. That'd be absolutely crazy. But
I actually don't think that's out of the question either, because they tend to pull a lot of Super Saiyan 3 units from Heroes, and I think the reason for that is because the Super Saiyan 3 category just isn't that big. Like in the normal series, like there aren't that many characters that go Super Saiyan 3, so I feel like that's a smart decision for them, because they can buff the category, make the category more appealing to people, by having these Heroes units be really strong options for the team.
Yeah, I agree.
So we've been talking about the Awakenings, obviously. We've been talking about a potential Dokkan Fest new hero banner, or Dokkan Fest card itself. What are your guys' thoughts, though, like, on the actual new cards that we have just gotten? So, like, the Kamba, the Golden Cooler, the AGL, Gohanksu, and Big Exu, or whatever his name is, the Vegeta Trunks fusion.
Yeah.
They're interesting, in my opinion. I'll talk about my experiences using it in a bit, but what are your guys' takes on them?
From someone who hasn't actually used them yet and just saw the details and stuff, I think Golden Cooler is probably the best of the new ones. Just based off the fact that he's going to be supporting them all while doing good damage, while having additional attacks, and his links they're okay. I think they could have done better on that end, but I think he is definitely a staple for the team. Obviously, him, Supreme Kai of Time, because they both are supporting. And then Fu is a leader, I guess, because he's the best leader we have right now, 130. He's good. I feel like his links are also pretty bad. Who else we
Yep.
got? Let me just take a look real fast.
The Giant 8 Cumber.
Oh, yeah, the Cumber. He's good, but I think people get mesmerized these days by the fact that a lot of units have like really high percentage like boosting their attack and defense and their passive. So it's like, oh, 150% attack and defense, but it's like you look at his stats and they're not really that high. And I feel like that's one of the reasons why they're able to do that. And like people are like, oh my god, like they're giving like these units 150% attack and defense, like that's crazy. But like you look at Demon King Piccolo, who came out for the Kigoku banner, he has 200% attack, but he has like the worst stats known to man. So
Yeah.
that's how they sort of fool you into like thinking these units are going to be like insanely good. And they're not saying they're bad at all. It's just they're not as good as they might seem. Because if like a Dokkan Fest exclusive had those passives, they would be really good because they're basing that boost off of a higher base number. So that's going to be a bigger boost overall. But overall, I think the units are really good. Like the fusions, like I think Gotenks is Gotenks Zeno, I think is what they call them. Gotenks Zeno, the Vegeks, and then Gohanks. They don't have awakenings yet, but they're showing potential. I don't think they're the best units ever. But I mean, I assume next year they'll awaken and they'll be amazing. So we'll see. We'll wait for that.
Yeah, I can definitely attest. So I've tested out again most of these cards in Super Battle Road. A couple of them I took into the Legendary Goku event, but based on what I've done, I agree with the aspect of Cooler kind of being the best all around one. Support, good numbers in terms of damage, that kind of stuff. Plus, he infinitely raises his attack, which is nice. And he fits on to the STR Coolers team under the transformation boost, but at least it's still the same 170 and then 130 HP. Kamba was... He basically made Giant's Super Battle Road category a joke because he greatly lowers the attack and defense of your opponents, and it's all super types that you're facing off against, and he had a high chance to stun them. So I put him against the STR Piccolo, no items, attacked him once, and Piccolo did double-digit damage to me. So he's good there, but I think in other areas, like other teams and other places, I don't think he's really that spectacular. He's still good. Just, not my top pick or anything like that. Gotenks and... I always mess these names up. Gohanksu, the Gohan Trunks fusion. Those guys work really well together because in their passives, they require you... In order to get the additional super attack off on, like automatic one, you have to be attacking a unit that has either been sealed or had the attack lowered, which... both of those guys do. So if you have Gohanksu, he seals, and if you attack someone with an attack lowered state, he does the automatic super attack. And they both get attack and defense up 20% and defense when they launch when they launch super attacks. So they work really well together. Actually, I put them on the Fusion Super Battle Road, and it made it actually pretty easy. It was actually really nice. So those two definitely have been very nice. What's the Vegeta and Trunks name again?
Vegeks or something.
Vegeks or whatever. Yeah, he is 100% made for the Legendary Goku event because he infinitely stacks defense. On the Potara team, because I couldn't take him into Time Travelers or into a Dragon Ball Hero Super Battle Road stage, obviously, he was not that good. He kind of got the shaft, unfortunately, for that kind of stuff, unfortunately. But yeah, no. Overall, they were nice to use. It'll be interesting to see what their awakenings do. And then my only nick about Cooler was that he loses 30% attack and defense with not being with hero units. So,
What about Fu?
Fu was interesting. I mean, he's strong. So on super attack, he gets his attack and defense, and he was dodging quite a bit. He was nice. He was nice in terms of the dodging. He had decent defense once he got his attack off. What did his super do again? He raised attack and defense for one turn, and he sealed. So he was nice for Super Battle Road because he was basically you weren't going to attack or anything, or the enemies were going to get a super attack off on you. And so I threw him onto the Time Travelers category is what I did, and so that gave him his key that he gets from his passive. He had the dodge chance up there already. So on that particular team, I was actually doing pretty well. I threw him off rotation, though. On rotation, like you guys kind of stated, his links were garbage. I think, to say the least.
Yeah, I mean that's why in his passive he's got the extra key and the evasion, because he just doesn't link with anybody. So
Yeah, pretty much.
yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
no, you could go ahead.
I was gonna say I pretty much echo Talon's sentiment on that. I mean, I haven't had a whole lot of time to play with them, but I think the fusion cards are really good, but they're not amazing. But I think once they get their awakenings, they could be really, really damn good. The Cumber, I honestly think he's just made for Giants team.
He is. He is.
And you know his other categories: Pure Saiyans, Time Travelers, Super Saiyans. Like you have way better options than him. But so that's that for me. And Cooler, man, he's fun on the Conquest of Terra team.
Oh, he's a blast. He's a blast.
Oh, yeah, he's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And especially, I don't know if you ran the Cooler meme team I posted, but that's also a lot of fun too.
I took a somewhat variant of it, yeah. I will admit, yes, it was actually very, very fun. But one other thing I do quickly want to talk about is that again, I can never pronounce his name, the Vegeta and Trunks fusion, their part of their passive is they get 70% attack and defense, and then for every super attack that they do, they get their crit chance to go up, which is cool. But in order for them to get their additional guaranteed super attack off, they have to attack somebody who has had both the attack and defense lowered already. And so ideally, his best partner is the new AGL Gotenks. But unless you're on the Time Travelers category or the Super Dragon Ball Heroes category, so for example, if you want to take him on the fusions or Patara for the Vegeta and Trunks fusion, it doesn't work out very well for him. And again, you start to see that he suffers in the numbers range at least, and even getting those additional super attacks off is hard, unless you've got dupes of him. So that was definitely something I picked up on when testing him out.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds right to me. We'll see how good they get when they awaken, but I mean, for right now, those are definitely the least, to me at least, the least impressive new units that have come out.
I would definitely
agreed.
say
So I think this is a good opportunity to transition into our final topic, which is when should we be expecting the next Dokkan Fest on JP? And I guess this sort of ties into the Heroes thing we were talking about, because we're expecting, to get another, well, not another, but a first time ever, a Heroes Dokkan Fest. And a lot of you guys said next week is looking likely. So do you guys still think that's true, or next week?
I personally think, because I think, when did Goku Black come out? It was like late November, early December, if I remember last year.
Yeah, I think it was late November, like 29th.
Yeah, so I feel like the way they do it is, there's always a Dokkan Fest usually running, right? So if they drop one next week, which will be the end of November, it'll last 3 weeks, which will go right into around Christmas time, which is usually when they drop the double rates Santa Roshi banner. And then like a week after, right before New Year's, is usually when they drop the hype double Dokkan Fest units before the anniversary. So for them not to drop a Dokkan Fest would be really awkward, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But the thing is, because the V-Jump scans only showed the hero stuff, we have no clue what's coming. So that's why we're all kind of speculating, like, oh, maybe it's a Heroes Dokkan Fest. Honestly, if they're going down the Majin Buu saga now, I'm not sure what could come out as a Dokkan Fest. I'm not sure. I mean, if they don't do a Heroes one.
Wasn't there a thing, I think, like, back a couple months ago, like, of Ben Presto, like, figure arts of Super Saiyan 2 Goku and Super Saiyan 2 Majin Vegeta or something?
a lot of people are speculating that. But usually if you're gonna have two units like that, then usually you would expect a dual Dokkan Fest. But the end of November, beginning of December is not really a time for that. So I don't know. I mean, I guess that could be the New Year's thing. Honestly, I don't know if that'd be particularly hype for me just to have a Super Saiyan 2 Goku and a Majin Vegeta. Especially because Majin Vegeta just gets shafted, I think, a lot in the game.
Well, also just remember those figures were already the figures that we have in game already of the strength Majin Vegeta and the AGL Goku. So I don't think they're
right.
Gonna be
Exactly.
new.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I personally think. Okay, I'm gonna be a little. Probably a lot of people are gonna disagree with me on this. I personally think next week, because at the end of next week is when the LR God Goku banner goes away. So all we're going to have left is the hero stuff, which is only around then for about an extra 5 days or so. So I think we're going to get some kind of maybe like female banner or some kind of small category banner or something that's, maybe a few new cards with a couple of awakenings, but it's, nothing. It's literally a bait banner to try and filler essentially. And then after Heroes goes away, so maybe around on the 9th or 10th or so, we'll see a double rates Santa Roshi banner with a new LR that will carry us until right after Christmas. And then that's when we get the end of the year dual Dokkan Fest that we've always had for the last few years.
I think that sounds
that
fair,
could work too. Yeah, I don't know. I think that could work as well. But what that would mean is there would just be a lull in like spending stones and buying stones. So it could be it.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's a rare thing that it could happen, but maybe the team will be confident enough and be like, all right, you know what, Bandai or Akatsuki or whatever, they can be like, you know what, these cards are coming out. We can afford to let not many stones being bought for these next couple weeks, and then boom, here are your units, stones incoming like no tomorrow, technically money incoming. So
yeah, I mean we'll have to see next week, see what comes out.
Yeah, I think next week's going to be like the turning point for, both versions, to be honest, because we should be getting something new on JP, and then obviously Global tomorrow is going to be getting the news for part 2 for the thank you stuff. So I think that should be everything. You guys have anything else you want to add to anything we talked about, or we think we're good?
I mean, I think I'm excited for next week's podcast because we're gonna have a lot of stuff to talk about, especially if we get a Dokkan Fest, global stuff. So it's gonna be exciting.
I'm definitely excited for next week. So that should be a lot of fun. And then actually, I think if we wanted to, you guys let us know down in the comments below if you want us to do this as well. We could even start to bring in some Legends discussions, because next week a lot of people are speculating that there should be some kind of Black Friday / I'll call it Thanksgiving, I guess, or whatever, banner for that game, because we had one last year, and that was in most people's opinions the best step up banner that they had. So we'll have to wait and see what's going to happen there. So
yeah, I mean, it just this week is kind of a little bit of lull besides the hero stuff on JP, but next week should be a ton of stuff, and there will be a big discussion on that, I'm assuming.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Next week's going to be the special Thanksgiving edition.
Yep.
Exactly.
Okay, well, I think that should be everything. I appreciate all of you who tuned in to this week's podcast. This is a weekly thing we do, in case you guys weren't aware. So next week, I believe the episode will be going up on Talon's channel.
Yes.
We do sort of a rotation, so it's Talon, then Speedy, then me, Talon, Speedy, then me, and as we sort of just go through that. I don't know I think Nolar was thinking about possibly starting a channel. We'll see what comes out of that.
It might come out, might be. But if not the case, we'll let you guys know when the rotation switches over. But we should, on everybody's channel, there should be a playlist of the podcast itself. So no matter who you go to, you should be able to find other episodes there.
Yep. Sounds good. All right. Well, again, appreciate everyone tuning in, and we'll see you all next time.
All right. Have a good one.
Later, guys.
Out.